If the conflict between an elephant and a buffalo escalates into a fight, then the winner will be obvious. An elephant is more than 8 times bulkier and stronger than a buffalo, easily sweeping this obstacle aside. The elephant can use a ramming attack in battle, against which the buffalo has no chance. Moreover, the giant is armed with powerful and sharp tusks, the length of which reaches half the length of the opponent's body. The flexible trunk can also help in battle, as the elephant can grab and lift a buffalo whose weight exceeds a ton. However, if you think that elephants constantly beat up buffaloes, then you're mistaken. Usually, these species treat each other with pretty much respect. Here, a huge elephant approached a female buffalo with a calf too closely. The giant had no hostile intentions, but the mother started getting nervous. Her little one sensed this and immediately attacked the elephant. You've got to agree here, its desperate courage and pressure are admirable. It defends its mother, who can barely keep up with the calf to stop it. Such pressure not only impresses us, but also the elephant. The giant cautiously retreats to avoid accidentally harming the little one. The calf is 20 times smaller than the giant, but it successfully pushes away the one who dared to scare its mother. The calf doesn't realize that the elephant could simply step on it. Fortunately, the elephant is peaceful. Such noble behavior of the elephant and the courage of the young bull deserve your like, I would say, doesn't it? Elephants and buffaloes have something in common, both species of herbivores that don't eat meat. But at the same time, they are brave and aggressively defend their kin, especially from the same family group. Like here, lionesses attacked a herd of buffaloes, expecting the herbivores to flee. Quite often, bulls do indeed obey instincts and start running when a predator suddenly appears. But this is only the initial reaction based on the fact that the horned animal doesn't know how many predators actually surround it. In this case, fleeing would be indeed the best option, but this time the lionesses were approaching almost without hiding, so they lost the element of surprise. This was a mistake, because brave buffaloes don't intend to panic. They boldly resist enemies, covering each other and supporting leaders. Usually only a few of the largest and mighty buffaloes counterattack, but the other members of the herd carefully monitor the situation and protect the flanks. They are ready to propel a side attack at any moment. And if an enthusiastic and enraged bull gets too carried away with an offensive, it can return to its herd for cover at any moment. The lionesses regained composure after the first stunning counterattack by the buffalo. Predatory cats are ready to surround and pounce on it, but the hoofed animal realizes this in time and rejoins the herd. This behavior is quite similar to the defensive tactics of elephants. Perhaps it is precisely this similarity that leads to cases of extraordinary solidarity? It's hard to say, but elephants and buffaloes do indeed often support each other. Here, a lion pride managed to surround a separated elephant calf. The young one's weight is already approaching a ton, so it cannot be really easy prey. However, the elephant calf clearly lacks experience and combat skills. Through the efforts of experienced lionesses and mighty lions, the pride managed to overcome the herbivore that was bravely and desperately resisting. The predators have already brought down the elephant calf and are ready to finish their ordeal. The lions hold the victim, not allowing it to stand up. Doing this isn't really too difficult, as the elephant's limbs, designed to support the immense weight, are not particularly flexible and resemble columns. Even on the ground, the elephant calf resists, trying to strike each aggressor, protecting its throat by tilting its head. But the lions act very efficiently and cohesively. No matter how much time passes, maybe a minute or 5, but the lions will inevitably defeat the opponent, reach its neck, and either strangle the elephant calf or simply bite and scratch it until causing fatal injuries. This horrifying scene was witnessed by a herd of buffaloes. They understand that lions are not hunting one of them, but an elephant. Bulls shouldn't concern themselves with a representative of another species, especially since buffaloes and elephants sometimes engage in conflicts themselves. But for some reason, the brave hoofed animals hurry to help the elephant calf here. The buffaloes attack the lions, who did not expect external interference. The charging attacks on the predators focused on their prey caught them off guard. Thanks to reflex speed and reaction, the lions managed to dodge the frontal assault at the last moment. However, they could no longer hold on to the elephant calf. The lions were not prepared to repel the sudden attack. Moreover, there were several buffaloes. In other words, the rescue operation was not the whim of a single-hoofed animal, but the desire of the entire group. They attacked the lions in a wedge formation, led by the most furious bull. The elephant calf was saved. Buffaloes not only protected it from the predator's attack, but also guarded the little one until it stood up, preventing a possible second attack by the predators. According to researchers, elephants have actually a phenomenal memory that they hardly forget anything. Perhaps they are really able to be willing to reciprocate to those who have helped them before? Otherwise, it's kind of difficult to explain this specific case. Lionesses pounced on a buffalo that resisted them powerfully. Grabbing the herbivore by the throat immediately wasn't possible, as the hoofed animal was ready to repel such an attack with powerful headbutts. Since approaching such a dangerous opponent from the front would be foolish, the lionesses took a longer route to victory. One of the lionesses leaped onto the back of the hoofed animal, digging her claws into its hide. However, without a stable foothold, it's challenging to unbalance such a massive beast. Meanwhile, other lionesses attacked the buffalo from the side. The bull spun, twirled, and repelled all attacks, demonstrating astonishing reflex speed. However, fighting lionesses, especially with one on its back, proved challenging for the agile buffalo. The lionesses riding the buffalo constantly tried to bring down the opponent, posing a threat to its spine. If her jaws reached the base of the buffalo's spine, they could paralyze it and take away its hind legs ability. Therefore, the buffalo fiercely circled, trying to both scatter the lionesses on the ground and shake off the lioness from its back. However, the panther weighs approximately 1/4 of the buffalo's mass. It's not really easy to maneuver such a burden. The buffalo fights heroically, but it will not last long. However, nearby, there was a huge and powerful elephant. It noticed the buffalo in danger in the adjacent thickets and headed over that way. The elephant single-mindedly ran to rescue the buffalo. Maybe they could be old friends? Perhaps it's gratitude for saving the elephant's calves. Or did the 5-ton giant just imagine itself as the local defender of herbivores? It is hard to say, but as soon as the enormous head with long tusks emerged from the bushes, the combativeness of the lionesses immediately waned. They didn't want to contend with both the buffalo and such a formidable giant. The lioness on the buffalo's back realized she would either jump off or be removed by the elephant's trunk. The clever hunter chose the first option, and the pack of predatory cats retreated. The lionesses simply didn't know what they were getting themselves into. It turned out that this buffalo was not only skilled, but also excelled in communication. This is not a unique case, though. Here, a lion and lioness together managed to bring down a buffalo to the ground. A bit more, and the predators would reach its throat. But suddenly, an elephant approaches. If it weren't on top of the hill, it could have trampled them. However, just the presence nearby proved sufficient. At the last moment before the lions could finish the prey, the elephant merely shifted towards the predators, and that alone was enough to drive them away. The buffalo immediately got back on its feet. It is undoubtedly grateful. The ability to make friends in the African savanna can save a life as effectively as one's strength and speed. Unfortunately here, the elephant was late. It appeared to save the buffalo too late. The lions had already strangled the hoofed animal, but the noble gesture of the giant is worth appreciating. Moreover, it fiercely descended upon the predators, almost trampling them. The enraged giant seems to avenge its best friend here. It raises a cloud of dust, and it appears to hit the body of the hoofed animal. But for the lions, it will be a lesson here. Attacking even a lone buffalo will now be frightening for them if their friends, the elephants, are nearby. The young lionesses understood that they were dealing with quite an old buffalo here. So the predatory cats decided to attack. They surrounded the hoofed animal. Indeed, its movements were constrained and not as fast as they used to be. However, the lionesses did not consider that the buffalo's horns had continued to grow and now reached gigantic proportions. Between the sharp tips, the head of a lioness together with her shoulders could fit. Moreover, the buffalo had not lost its strength and was ready to deliver crushing blows with its horns. The lioness had to make an effort to dodge dangerous blows and lunges from the opponent. The fight lasted long enough, and the cats were the first to exhaust their strength. Their movements were swift, but with each counterattack, the buffalo's horns came closer to the head of one or another lioness. They realized they had made a mistake in choosing their opponent here. The already aging buffalo effectively repelled all the attacks and managed to deter the audacious young cats with its horns. A whole pack of wolves surrounded just 2 bisons, but they put up an impressive resistance. The predators clearly chose the wrong victims here. The bison lifted a wolf on its horns with the same ease as you would lift a tennis ball off the ground. Bison horns are short, but thanks to their crushing force and the speed of a sharp strike, even this weapon is sufficient not only to lift a wolf off the ground, but also to send it into an acrobatic flight. The wolf does a somersault and falls in front of its astonished peers. They continue the attack since wolves are one of the most effective predators on the planet. They're hard to intimidate. Still, bisons only intensify their pressure and counterattack the enemies, covering each other. Before the colonization of North America, the wild bison numbered in the tens of millions. This was despite the presence of grizzlies, numerous wolves, and mountain lions on the continent already. The success of the species is linked to the incredible strength of these noble animals. Buffaloes not only defeated the lion, but also drove it up a tree. However, this wasn't enough for them. One of the bulls almost bit the lion's most valuable part. The cat dodged the last moment. The lion did not expect such a sneaky attack on its most precious asset. The predator definitely won't mess with such an enemy ever again. Which of today's cases where buffaloes resisted their enemies surprised you the most?